Patel sir on behalf of Samartha Group of Institution, and I heartily welcome to all participants. Those are joined today's webinar, and everyone know we are doing the webinar series on various topics. So today's topic is most important topic, like nowadays we know make in India. So under this that title, today's topic is very important to develop yourself within any organization or within a society. So entrepreneurship and leadership. So we are focusing with the guidance of Mr. Patel sir. I introduced the Patel sir. Patel sir is a managing editor of innovations and resident editor of supplements Maharashtra, the Times of India. Patel sir is a corporate professional having 23 plus year work experience in media sector. He is currently also associated with Pune Institute of Business Management like PIBM corporate panelist for training and grooming to the students. He is a passionate about his hobbies like photography, motorcycling, reading, and teaching to the students. And today we are lucky we got the Patel sir for the guidance under the entrepreneurship and leadership. So I heartily welcome Patel sir on behalf of Samartha Group of Institution. So without wasting a time, I request to Patel sir, please guide us, all our students, all our participants. Welcome, sir. Please
Thank you.
start the session.
Thank you very much. Very good morning to all of you, and thank you, sir, for the lovely introduction. I am honored myself to be talking to students, and it is my pleasure to be speaking today on a topic that is so passionate to me as it is to most others. Am I audible? Am I audible and am I visible? Is my audio and visual both?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Thank you.
Audio and video. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, young friends, when I talk about entrepreneurship and leadership, I have a slight way by which I'm going to conduct the session. I hope you will be with me on this. It will be an interactive session, which means that I would like people to come online, even if they are not on video, at least put on their mics and interact with me when I put a question across. Is that fine by all of you? Young people, is that fine by all of you?
Yes, sir.
Hi, lovely. The session needs to be interactive, only then will we move forward in what we're trying to say. I wouldn't want to make it boring by giving some PowerPoint slides, etc., because that is not the call of the hour. The call of the hour is making you understand and assimilate what entrepreneurship and leadership is all about. So let's begin. When Apple, the iPhone maker, saw the pandemic, they decided to leapfrog. They decided to do two things which made us closer to the brand. The first they did was they launched or they started working on an iPhone, which they found would help people cope in this pandemic environment. So they launched the new iPhone during the pandemic. They did another thing. They decided to upgrade the iMac. And they decided to also upgrade the MacBook Air. What happened in that scenario or environment was that they brought people or they brought their brand closer to an ecosystem that was slowly and steadily going digital. So today when I talk of iPhones, I also talk of wearable devices. I also talk of devices which will allow me to download information while I am on the move. So what Apple has done is that it has changed the dynamics of business. Today, because you are getting a brand that looks beyond, you don't mind paying more. There is a question that comes to mind, young people. When I pay more for a brand and I am a leader and I am an entrepreneur, Do I need to provide you certain specific touch points that will allow the brand to gravitate? The answer is yes and no. Let's take Apple again once more, the iPhone manufacturer. Are they giving you much more than what Samsung or possibly the Chinese manufacturers are giving you? Certainly not. Then why are you gravitating towards Apple? What is it that Apple is cashing on in this pandemic? Can somebody come online and talk to me about this as we ideate? Anybody would like to please put your mics off the mute and come on board? I'd like to take this point forward with him or her. Yes, please. I'd like a student to come online to take this point forward with me. Anyone? 50 of you all, my good friends. Anyone could come on board. Okay, I'd like to choose. There's a young lady called Ashwini on my session. Ashwini, can you please unmute yourself? I have a small question for you. Yes. Students, you need to participate. If you participate, you will get closer to my to understanding my concepts. Please participate, guys. Anybody else would like to join in?
Sir, can you ask question once again?
Lovely. The point I'm making is that the brand Apple, the price point is very high. The reason yet it is being sold. So I want to ideate as to why, despite the price point being high and up, the brand is still got visibility. And I need a student along with me.
Apple provides security more than other.
Right. There are a few things about Apple. Thank you. There are a few things about Apple that intrigue us to buy that brand, and it provides a certain edge. The first thing is that the price point. In brands that have reached the top, and one of them is Apple, the other is Nike, the higher the price point, the larger becomes its visibility. So if Apple reduces its price in the pandemic, people will feel that the brand is not keeping up to its expectations. Due to that, the brand needs to be priced at a certain level. So if today you buy a pair of Nike shoes and you start paying 1,500 rupees for that brand, Nike as a brand is going to lose its market share. It's going to lose its market share because it's an aspirational brand. Apple is an aspirational product. So the first lesson of entrepreneurship, my good friends, is that you need to pitch your brand to the right market. Apple is not a product meant for people who are in the 15 and 20,000 price range bracket. They are looking at those who are in the 70, 75, 80,000 price range. And in that price range, they are looking at a niche customer. So Apple does not want to sell 25,000 phones a month. They are happy with selling 2,000 phones, but they want to sell those phones to a clientele that has the disposable income and that is looking at value for money. So snob appeal is what the brand Apple brings with it. And snob is what other brands also in the pandemic have brought with it. And that is why the brands are where they are, right at the top. I look at Facebook. Funnily, as I would say, that Facebook has increased its advertising budget during the pandemic. And the reason is very simple. A lot of us thought that television would be the future. Or a lot of us looked at television to be the future of entertainment, right or wrong. There was a point in media when students only joined TV because they wanted visual connect. They wanted a certain brand philosophy, a brand following. What happened was that in the pandemic, television collapsed. In the pandemic, entertainment became a full stop. And you know why entertainment became full stop? That is because nobody was able to shoot. So what happened? In order for television to bounce back, my good friends, they started showing you old episodes, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and certain programs that were seen 10 and 15 years ago. What happened? The generation that is you could not associate with a brand philosophy that was Ramayan and Mahabharat centric. So something that was showcased 20 years ago did not cut ice with audiences today. So what happened in that? So television started losing its traction. And in order to survive, entrepreneurs like Arnab Goswami decided to change the model of television around. And what did they do? They started providing you programs. They started providing you certain issues that you started associating with. So Arnab Goswami brought to his program a new kind of media, which is investigative. So television started getting into an investigative mode. They started looking at investigative articles. They started looking at investigative content. For reasons unknown, audiences in India do not associate with a lot of trauma and sensation today. They want entertainment. And because studios were closed, and because entertainment was not being provided, and because Arnab Goswami's kind of entertainment was not being able to move ahead, slowly and steadily, television started losing traction. Again, you have to understand one more aspect. The pandemic also brought about a new wave of people. And that wave of people was individuals who preferred staying at home, individuals who preferred watching movies from the comfort of their homes. So the loss of television, my friends, was the gain of social media. The loss of television, my friends, was the gain of Netflix. The loss of television was the gain of OTT. Now, my question to you is very simple, and I'd like somebody to come online with me for this question. How much of social media do you watch in a given day today? Any student? Can somebody come online with me, please? I'd like you to interact.
Three,
Yes.
3 to 4, sir.
What is your name, young person?
I'm Jadhav Pratiksha, sir.
Pratiksha. Three
Yes,
to
sir.
4 hours of social media, including Netflix, including OTT platforms.
Yes, sir.
You are paying on an average 200 rupees a month, and you are getting uninterrupted supply of movies, of serials, etc., that you can watch at your pace.
Yes,
At
sir.
200 rupees, you are not buying a cinema ticket. At 200 rupees, you are not moving out of your house. At 200 rupees subscription a month, you are getting 50,000 movies at your disposal. You, as an individual client, would you not move away from single screen cinema? So tomorrow, my point here is that if single screen cinema theaters start coming back after the pandemic, it will surprise you to know that they will close down. It will surprise you to know that single screen cinemas will not exist. And that is primarily because, and that is primarily because Netflix has eaten into their market share. 74% of those who are homebound today are watching Netflix and other OTT platforms. 74% of India is hooked on to their devices during the pandemic. So can you imagine 200 rupees subscription on an average into 40 lakh people a month? What is the revenue model of Netflix? Unimaginable. That brings me to a third point of discussion. When I talk entrepreneurship, I talk about leaders who make a difference. So, the moment you make a difference to somebody else's life, you have scored the race of life, or you have scored in the race of entrepreneurs. Making a difference, what making a difference means to me or you? It means I change the way you look at a certain product. Many years ago, when I was growing up, dalda and ghee were the only cooking mediums. Come 1990s, and the world of medicine turned the equations around. They said, they said that if you want to cook and you want to remain healthy, move out of dalda, move out of the cooking medium that your grandparents have grown up with. They changed the perception. They changed the way you looked at life. They changed the dynamics of how you cooked. And what happened? That spawned vegetable oil. So, vegetable oil, which was unheard of before the 1990s, suddenly started gaining momentum because you changed the way of thinking. You change the thought process of an individual. An entrepreneur changes the thought of the way you look at aspects and the way you look at life. The moment you bring a change, the moment you bring a change in a system, automatically what happens, the system starts moving towards you. So even though dalda has its good qualities, you will still say no, I want a heart friendly oil. How heart friendly is vegetable oil, we still don't know. But research is proving that vegetable oil is more beneficial for your system than dalda is. So, going by that research, you gravitate towards a different cooking medium. And if you are able to do this, my friend, if you are able to bring about a change in a system, you automatically start pulling the system towards you. When I was teaching, last year, and I was teaching in the US, and I was teaching in America, and I was teaching in the Columbia School of Business, there was a small point that we brought about. And we said that Uber and Ola have changed the dynamics of how you look at commuting. Uber and Ola are the future models of commuting, right or wrong. I spoke about this and I did a good 45-minute session on what Uber and Ola have brought about. Everyone said, yes, sir, that is the future. Come today, 2020 December, the 5th of December 2020, I tell you no, Uber and Ola are not the future. Pandemic has changed the dynamics of business. Uber and Ola have moved out. And today, the second-hand car market has become the future. More and more people who are young people who are starting out life, who are just about working, have started buying second-hand vehicles. And the reasons are simple. A, work from home is becoming more and more regular. B, commuting is not happening. You're not moving. You're not commuting to places where you would have before. So you've stopped going to the malls. You've stopped eating out so often. And what you've done is that you've started slowly and steadily working out of home. So will you look at Uber and Ola to move around? And you are scared. You are scared that if you take local transport, you may be affected by the virus. So what does that allow you to do? That allows you to open a new window. And what will be that window? I can't afford a new car. So I might as well purchase a second-hand car. The second-hand market in India, my friends, automobile market has grown from 11% to 74% in the pandemic, 74%, which obviously means that 11% of population or 11% of driving population in India were buying second-hand cars. 74% are buying second-hand cars today. Uber and Ola are out of the rudder. My good friends, that is what entrepreneurship is all about. Thinking out of the box. The moment the pandemic hit, the second-hand car market became vibrant. They realized that here is where the market is. They also realized that people are worried to commute in public transport. So what do I do? Since I am not eating out, since I'm not going to hotels and restaurants, I might as well save that money. And the money I have saved, I will invest in a second-hand car. And that becomes my asset for a long, long time, right or wrong? Do you agree with me or not, young people?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Thank you. So we move a little forward on entrepreneurship. We move a little forward on leadership. So what is a leader? A leader is someone who has business acumen. A leader is somebody who can think out of the box. A leader is somebody who cashes in now and here. Let's move to another story that will give you a little more traction. I always believed that the world of digital was here to stay. I also believed that digital is a medium that provides you huge amount of input. And this is proved by another fact. During the pandemic, you stopped eating out. You stopped going to hotels and restaurants. Why? A, because of the lockdown, and B, because you were afraid. You were afraid that if you would go out to eat, at some point of time, the virus could take over your life. And then if you get affected by the virus, you wouldn't have a cure. So what did you do? You started eating at home, right or wrong. So the moment you started eating at home, people started thinking, and this is entrepreneurship, that why not? I start cooking for the society. And I start slowly and steadily moving my home food into your kitchen. And this brought about home chefs. And this started the revolution where if I am living in a housing society and if I am good at baking cakes, I will start baking cakes and sending it to you. So what you did was that you actually brought my home to your home and you paid for that. And now, slowly and steadily, you are starting to believe that, hey, I like this person's food. So why don't I keep ordering from him, bringing about a new world order altogether? So even though I may be a full-time editor, and if I am a good cook, I can still make that extra money. Biryani, my good friends, biryani has become the most popular meal that is being done or ordered in today in the country. In the takeaway menu, biryani is number one. And that is simply because it is a whole food in itself. You don't need to eat biryani with any gravy dish. It automatically becomes a food. You can either put an egg into it and make it an egg one. You can put vegetables and make it a vegetable one. You can put chicken or you can put anything else. And that biryani becomes a standard wholesome food. So, when I talk entrepreneurship and I talk television, I am also talking about TV moving in a different direction. It's interesting to understand where television is going, and I'm sure you will know as I tell you. You know what? What do you see television today? You see television getting interactive, which means Arnab Goswami is doing debates. It also means that at some point of time, you are looking at Big Boss as a television serial that you are associating with. Big Boss. I'm going to tell you that Big Boss is now not getting the same look and feel that it got before the pandemic. It is old school. People are tired. So, what is television doing? In the US, it's interesting to know. Television is getting interactive, which means that they have reached a point where they are going to ask you a question like I ask you a question here on my session, and you are going to answer that. So there would be a mic and a kind of a video, a camera fitted on your television, and that is available at a very low price. So the moment the camera is fitted, just like this camera that I have in front of me, you can put it on and directly talk to an anchor on TV and go live. So the audience is going to become part of television tomorrow. Now, the moment you become part of television, automatically television starts getting more and more viewership. Because, hey, XYZ, I am seeing XYZ on TV and I'm seeing that XYZ on national TV today. So, let me also hook on to the program. It is possible that I may be allowed to speak. And if I speak, my relatives in Cochin, my relatives in Chennai, my relatives in Calcutta may see me. A great connect. So television is also in the pandemic looking at becoming more and more interactive. And what is it doing? What is it doing? It's trying to enter your domain space. And when it enters your domain space, automatically it provides you the traction for you to interact with an anchor and also be seen on the screens. And the moment you are seen on screens, what happens is, my friends, you will continue watching that particular program more and more. So if you keep watching that program more and more, advertising on that program will increase. If advertising on that program increases, automatically you will start buying the products. So what is the whole concept of viewership? The whole idea behind viewership is promoting products that you see on that few seconds of advertisement, which is that in those 30 seconds, you can see the BMW ad, you can see the ad for furniture, you can see XYZ ad. But in order for you to see the ad, they need to keep you hooked on or entertained. The only way today they can hook you on is by making you a participant on television. And once you become a participant on television, you will automatically start watching the program more and more, because naturally you will say that tomorrow I am going to come on TV. कल मैं टीवी पे आने वाला हूँ, तो कल मैं टीवी पे आऊँगा तो मैं बैठे रहूँ वही चैनल के सामने, क्योंकि कभी ना कभी मेरी चांस आएगी. और यदि उन लोगों ने उनका माइक ऑन किया, if they put on their mic, if they put on their camera, I will be seen nationally. Isn't that a great connect? Isn't that a great connect? Yes, or no, students?
Yes,
So
sir.
what is pandemic doing? So what is pandemic doing? Pandemic is bringing about new age inventions that allow people who are homebound to start looking at ways to make money. Nobody knew before the pandemic, that there would be a point in your and my life where we would be sitting at home and providing a session from our computers. It was something unheard of. If somebody told me that, I wouldn't have believed.
हाँ मैं आता हूँ फिर बैठ के कर लेते हैं
But
notes.
today,
77 खाली अभी.
when we look at an environment where sitting at home has provided a window of opportunities, I become an entrepreneur who is operating out of home turf. So I don't need an office space. So I don't need a marketing base, because my marketing base can be operated out of your home. If I want to find out how much you have sold, I don't need you to come to office. I can allow you to sit at home and connect with you on Zoom. So it has destabilized the environment of real estate. And why do you buy a house? You buy a house for two reasons. First is because you want to live in it. And second, because you want to invest in it. But if I tell you tomorrow that, sir, I don't need a second house because for me, I am happy with living in the house and working out of that house. And in working out of that house, if I am making X plus X, why do I need to make X plus X plus X? So the second home concept is also going to become obsolete. Your workspace is going to change because today I can be sitting near my window and talking to you. I'm not disturbed or distracted. Today, you can be sitting in the comfort of your drawing room and talk to me. You need not be disturbed and distracted. So this is what they are calling the new normal. The new normal is allowing you to conduct business differently. The new normal is allowing you to watch movies differently. The new normal is not allowing you to go to the mall, but at the same time purchase products at 60% discount. The new normal is allowing you to go onto Big Basket and order your fruits and vegetables which are freshly delivered. The new normal is ensuring that you are going out in masks, sanitizing your hands, and also eating at restaurants that are not closed. But at some point of time, this is going to become not the new normal, a part of life. At some point of time, that same home chef that you are ordering possibly a sandwich or a salad or a biryani from is going to start cooking for more people. And that same home chef is going to give or get more business than she was. So when we talk about the new normal, we also talk about the new age of doing business. When we talk about the new normal, we also talk about new ways of adapting to business. Netflix. If you've read the Times of India this morning, they're giving you 2 days of free movie watching, 2 days. You don't have to put any debit card or credit card. Have you seen that ad, guys? Have you
Yes, sir.
seen the ad of Netflix?
Yes, sir.
Good. You have seen that they are providing you 2 days of free movie watching, 48
Yes, sir.
hours of movies. What is the reason behind this? Why are they doing this?
For
Obviously,
marketing, sir.
obviously, the reason is very simple. They realize that the moment 50 lakh, 70 lakh people move onto Netflix just for watching a movie for free, from that 60 lakh people, even if conversions are 5 lakh, Netflix has won the game. Netflix has won the game. And what have they done? You know, a very interesting business model that Netflix has adopted. Very simple. They have said that you don't need to put an ad of BMW on my channel. You don't need to do that. If BMW wants to advertise with Netflix, you become a program producer. You pay me 20 lakhs and you produce a program. If you don't have a program, I will produce a movie. I have the actors with me. I have the script with me. I have the director with me. BMW, you don't do anything. You don't advertise. You come on board as a producer. So when you will watch Netflix, you will see that produced by Dabur India, produced by BMW, produced by Nike. And the moment you start becoming a producer for Netflix, you advertise your product in the movie. So Netflix will say that Shah Rukh Khan, you wear Nike shoes. Netflix will say, Ritik Roshan, you drive a BMW car. Netflix will also say that Priyanka Chopra, you keep a Dabur ka Chavan Prash on your table while we are shooting the movie. There you are. a new age of providing advertising traction to products. Till yesterday, if you wanted to advertise, you needed to come for 30 seconds and showcase your brand, right or wrong. In between a television show, you suddenly brought BMW, you suddenly brought Dabur, you suddenly brought Nike. Now what is happening is that you don't need to bring them in between. You tell them you produce the program. आप जो 5 lakhs of rupees खर्चा कर रहे थे to come in between, you give me that 5 lakhs of rupees, I will make a movie for you. And I will see that your brand is there for 3 hours in that movie, 2 hours, 1 hour, 20 minutes, much more time than you would spend on advertising. I will also ensure that you will be an advertiser perpetually for life. So tomorrow, Dabur will be the producer of that Netflix film, not today, not tomorrow, lifelong. But if Dabur advertised on television, he would be there only for 30 seconds and for 1 month, right or wrong. Here, Dabur is going to be there right through because he's producing. So Netflix is saying that you don't worry about what the program is going to be. You don't worry about what is going to be the content. That is my space. I will help you with the content. You pay me the money, I will do the rest for you. You sit at home. Isn't that a great model, my friends? Isn't that a great model? Right or wrong? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
There's more. There's more. There's more. Yesterday you paid 300, 400, 200. How much does a cinema hall ticket cost, people in your hometown? How much is the cost of a cinema hall ticket?
Sir, 80 to 90 rupees.
Okay, it's 100 rupees, let us say. And you can only watch one movie, and you can only have possibly some chips and whatever else, which means you spend another 50 rupees, 150 rupees per head for watching
Yes.
one movie. But if two people go, 300 rupees. But if I tell you that you don't watch a movie, you sit at home, you watch as many movies as you want in the month for 200 or 199, will you not go towards that platform? So tomorrow, if a new movie of Shah Rukh Khan is releasing, and if Netflix has the rights, and if Netflix releases that movie, will you not come to that platform? So they have got you hooked on for life. So they have got you actually some kind of a bonus where tomorrow you don't need to go to a cinema hall. So what is going to happen? Single screen cinemas have to change their business model. Because if they don't, my friend, they're going to be out of business. And there will be a point of time post-pandemic when nobody will visit cinema halls. And that is already happening. PVR, DLF, all big players in the single screen theater business are saying that, hey, pandemic ke baad, post-pandemic, our cinema halls are not going to gain momentum. We are not going to see traction. And in the new normal, you have to change your business strategy. If you don't change your business strategy, just like Netflix did, you will become an Uber and an Ola. You will not survive. But did you believe, my friends, I'm asking you another question. Did you believe that Uber and Ola would be ever out of business? आपको मैं ये यदि जनवरी में बोलता तो आप बात मानते क्या? हाँ या ना बताओ?
No, sir.
You would never believe me if I told you that an Ola or a Uber is going to be not around in the month of March. आप बोले सर आप मजाक कर रहे हो, आपको समझ नहीं है. आज मैं बोल रहा हूँ Uber and Ola have lost the race. Second hand cars have won the race. पूरा business dynamic change हो गया. Till yesterday we said television is the future. आपको मैं बोल रहा था कि अर्नब गोस्वामी का टीवी चैनल देखो. आज मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ that the future is not TV. The future is not TV because a lot of fake news is coming on TV. A lot of news that you don't believe is coming on TV. Future is newspaper. आप बिलीव करोगे, आप बिलीव करोगे. क्यों बिलीव करोगे? क्योंकि घर में आप बैठे हो, न्यूज़पेपर ज्यादा देखते हो, टीवी कम देखते हो और नेटफ्लिक्स ज्यादा देखते हो. राइट और रॉन्ग? And who has won the race in this? Who has won the race? Social media. Because most of us, that is you and me, are on WhatsApp. Most of us are on Facebook. तो कल क्या होने वाला है? Facebook is going to see more advertising. कल क्या होगा पेंडेमिक के बाद? Advertising will also come on WhatsApp platforms. Advertising will be more on Facebook than it is today, less on television. Because television में traction है नहीं. Television में you are seeing information that you don't want to see. But in Facebook, you are seeing information that you want to see. Your friends are there. You want to connect with them. Facebook becomes your point of connect. And it is no more about television because you want to watch. Now the reader or viewer wants to see what he's interested in, not what he's forced to see. And that is where the new age of entrepreneurship is come. Give me what I want and I will pay anything. I want an iPhone. It costs 75,000 rupees. I want it. I will pay for it. Not because it gives me more services, because it is aspirational in value. मुझे possess करना है. Possession becomes important. And do you believe in the pandemic, there is one part of India that has got a lot of money? वो आप बिलीव करते हो या नहीं? एक इंडिया का हिस्सा है जिसके पास बहुत ज्यादा पैसा है. ये आप पॉइंट बिलीव करते हो या नहीं? मैं जो बोल रहा हूं बताइए. Do you believe me, young people? Yes or
sir.
no?
Yes, sir.
So my question is why and how? Why and how? The answer is very simple. The class that used to spend, the class that used to spend, the class that used to go out, the class that used to travel. ऐसे क्लास है इंडिया में जो हर 4 महीना में फॉरेन ट्रिप लेते थे. आप बिलीव करते हो या नहीं? एक पॉपुलेशन का क्लास है इंडिया में which is 2% of India's population which travels abroad every 4 months.
Yeah.
मतलब साल में 3 या 4 बार वो फॉरेन ट्रिप लेते हैं. हाँ या ना? बिलीव करते हो क्या? Yes or no? You believe, right? And that is the class that has not traveled. Travel नहीं किया आज. किया travel उन्होंने?
No.
नहीं किया ना? तो जब ट्रैवल नहीं किया है उन्होंने, तो वो पैसा कहाँ गया? वो पैसा उनके पास है. वो सेम क्लास है जो हर हफ्ता 5 स्टार होटल में भी खाते थे. हाँ या ना?
Yeah,
वो
sir.
सेम क्लास है जो स्टारबक्स से 250 रुपया का कॉफी पीते थे. वो क्लास, दैट पर्टिकुलर क्लास हैज नॉट स्पेंट. उन लोगों ने बंद कर दिया बाहर जाना, बट उनका पैसा तो नहीं बंद हुआ है ना भाई. तो डिस्पोजेबल मनी फॉर 2% ऑफ इंडियाज पॉपुलेशन हैज गॉन अप. Disposable money for 2% of India's population has risen thanks to the pandemic because उनका पैसा उन्होंने स्पेंड नहीं किया. तो जब पैसा उन्होंने स्पेंड नहीं किया है गुड फ्रेंड्स, तो किया है उस पैसा को लेके? बैंक में डाला है. तो बैंक ने क्या किया है पता है आपको? बैंक ने इंटरेस्ट रेट कम कर दिया. मानते हो या नहीं मानते हो ये बात?
Yes, sir.
Why did the bank reduce interest rate? Because there is more money than they need. यदि बैंक के पास ज्यादा पैसा है और वो कहीं पैसा दे नहीं सकता है, तो नेचुरली आपका पैसा वो घुमा नहीं सकता है. तो क्या करेगा? वो पैसा लेके उसी के पास रहेगा तो इंटरेस्ट कहां से देगा वो? So if the bank is not able to provide you a larger rate of interest, they are obviously going to give you a smaller rate of interest. तो इसमें क्या हुआ है ये बताओ? इसमें क्या हुआ है? Funny thing has happened. इसमें one class of India has become very rich. तो जो साल में वो क्लास 25 लाख रुपया खर्चा करता था, आज 0 खर्चा कर रहा है. तो 25 लाख रुपया तो उसका सेविंग हो गया ना. So that 25 lakhs of rupees is not coming into the economy, but at some point of time that 25 lakhs is going to be spent. So you will find, my good friends, in the pandemic, 1 crore properties are selling. 1 CR का वैल्यूएशन जो प्रॉपर्टी का है वो बिक रहा है। एक गाड़ी आई है इन इंडिया which some of you may have heard, some of you may have not heard. It's called GM, General Motors. It's got an SUV vehicle. Another car is Kia, KIA. It's from Indonesia. ये दो कार बहुत बिक रही है. And you know the price point of these vehicles, both of these that I'm talking about, इसका प्राइस पता है क्या आप लोगों को? किया गाड़ी का क्या प्राइस पॉइंट है पता है क्या आपको? कोई बता सकता है मुझे? What is the price point of Kia? बताइए. Somebody. Yes. What is the price point of a brand Kia? किसी को पता है? मैं बता रहा हूँ. That car costs between 25 to 40 lakhs. The unit sales of Kia today are 50 to 70 cars a month. And in some parts of India, it is 120 cars a month. A price range of an automobile between 25 to 40 lakhs is selling 80, 170 units monthly in pandemic. Why is that? Because 2% of India has money. 2% of India lives above you and me. And that 2% has saved and saved and saved. और उतना 2% पॉपुलेशन के पास इतना पैसा है that बैंक को आज इंटरेस्ट रेट कम करना पड़ा. That is amazing, isn't it? You take your point forward. You take my point forward. And also understand, there is one part of India, which is a big, big part of India, जिसके पास जॉब नहीं है आज. और वो 70% इंडिया का पॉपुलेशन है मिडिल क्लास, बहुत बड़ा पॉपुलेशन है. वो 70% पॉपुलेशन में से 40% है जॉबलेस. तो वो क्या होने वाला है ये बताओ. So that jobless population is the one that is going to default bank loans. तो बैंक is scared, बैंक is worried that मैं क्रेडिट कार्ड वाले लोगों को पैसा दूंगा तो कल मेरा पैसा वापस नहीं आएगा. तो उन लोगों ने क्या किया है, क्रेडिट कार्ड का इंटरेस्ट को टच नहीं किया. द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ अ क्रेडिट कार्ड इज स्टिल हाई बिकॉज द बैंक हैज रियलाइज्ड that if you buy on credit, you may not be able to give me back the money. So try to not encourage too much of credit card spending, though bring in credit card spending, but don't encourage too much of spending. There you are. So we are in an environment today that is a catch-22 environment. Now what is a catch-22 environment? One side, you have money, and that money is so excess, और आपने खर्चा नहीं किया तो आप गाड़ी ले रहे हो, घर ले रहे हो 1-1 करोड़ का. Other side of the spectrum does not have money but wants to use a credit card, and the bank is discouraging from using a credit card because the bank is worried that credit card use करेंगे तो शायद वापस नहीं दे सकेंगे. And that is why that second part, which is the jobless part of India, is taking to entrepreneurship. And tomorrow, as I speak today in front of you, I speak to students who are engineers and who are possibly in fields that are outside of my domain of specialization. And when I talk entrepreneurship, I am saying that that part of India which has got today low jobs are going to become entrepreneurs. They are the ones who are home chefs. They are the ones who are also going into the business of selling clothes, retail space. That part of India which is jobless today is also thinking out of the box. They are thinking of spaces that did not exist. It also brings me to an important point, that in all this, the industry that is booming is medical. And medical is booming because they are selling everything from infrared thermometers to ventilators. They are also the one point of contact for people when they fall sick. And there is more, health services. So if you are an entrepreneur today and if you decided to move into yoga, you decide to move into the space of possibly into the space of selling fitness devices. And those fitness devices could be anything from skipping ropes to gym equipment. You will make money because people are scared of their lives. People are worried that बीमार पड़ जाऊंगा तो इलाज नहीं है, तो बीमार नहीं पड़ना चाहिए. तो इसके लिए च्यवनप्राश इज डूइंग गुड, डाबर्स प्रोडक्ट्स आर डूइंग गुड, बाबा रामदेव प्रोडक्ट्स आर डूइंग गुड. पहले तो बाबा रामदेव ने बताया था मैं जीन्स लेके आ रहा हूँ, ₹250 का जीन्स which I will compete with the brand Hara. Today Ramdev Baba is saying no, I am catering to a market that is looking for immunity boosters. There's a huge demand for Chyawanprash and other products. There is a huge demand for homeopathy because everybody believed that homeopathy was a certain cure which possibly did not have any side effects. So aaj a lot of India's population is hooked onto homeopathy medication. Lot of young people are also moving into health therapy. Health therapy, you know why? Because घर में रह के lot of people have got mental illnesses. They're not well anymore because they are not able to move out. घर से निकल नहीं सक रहे, तो बीमार पड़ रहे, तो हेल्थ और वेलनेस एक्सपर्ट्स के पास जा रहे. हेल्थ और वेलनेस एक्सपर्ट्स का डिमांड बढ़ गया. So today there is more momentum there. People have asked me this question and I am also going to answer it. That sir, travel and tourism में इफेक्ट हुआ है तो उसका क्या होने वाला है? Very simple. जब आपके घर में दुख और तकलीफ हो तो पहला चीज आप नहीं करोगे, होटल में नहीं जाओगे. दूसरा चीज नहीं करोगे, घूमोगे नहीं. आज का माहौल में वही सिनेरियो है. आपके घर में दुख है, तकलीफ है, आप पेंडेमिक से लड़ रहे हो, तो आप होटल में खाओगे या आप घूमोगे, टूर करोगे इंटरनेशनल, दोनों नहीं करोगे ना. तो नेचुरली इट विल इम्पैक्ट दिस बिजनेस, बट दिस इज अ लॉन्ग टर्म इम्पैक्ट? नो, इट इज अ शॉर्ट टर्म इम्पैक्ट. बिकॉज एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आपको घर से निकलना ही है, एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आपको खाना ही है, और एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आपको टूर करना ही करना है. So when I say travel and tourism has been impacted, it is a short-term impact. When I say single screen cinemas have been impacted, it is a long-term impact. When I say self-employed people are going to actually see the future, I mean that the moment you start thinking out of the box, you are going to be the winner in today's environment. Because pandemic has changed the way you've looked at life. Pandemic has also brought about a new impact on young people. अभी आप तो स्कूल जा नहीं रहे हो, अभी आप तो कॉलेज नहीं जा रहे हो, तो you have started getting used to Zoom, Teams, other interactive devices that put you on a platform. अब क्या हो जाएगा tomorrow? A, college cannot come to you every time. You will have to come to college because the learning experience in college has to be interactive. तो आप कॉलेज क्यों जाते हो? मेरा क्वेश्चन बहुत सिंपल है आपके साथ. मैं आपको रीजन बताऊंगा, मगर यदि आप बताओ तो आई विल बी हैप्पी. कोई भी स्टूडेंट बताओ कॉलेज क्यों जाते हो आप?
नॉलेज पर्पस.
झूठ, झूठ. सेकंड स्टूडेंट बताओ कॉलेज क्यों जाते हो आप? कॉलेज क्यों जाते हो ये बताओ मुझे.
For the learning, sir.
लर्निंग.
हाँ.
नॉट ट्रू. कॉलेज क्यों जाते हो? कॉलेज क्यों जाते हो? यस, somebody said personality development. Let me explain. यदि मैं गलत हूं तो आप बताओ. कॉलेज में जाता हूं क्योंकि मुझे कैंटीन में जाना है. कॉलेज में जाता हूं क्योंकि फ्रेंड्स के साथ इंटरेक्ट करना है. कॉलेज में जाता हूं क्योंकि गर्लफ्रेंड बनाना है. कॉलेज में जाता हूं क्योंकि गर्लफ्रेंड को घुमाना है. कॉलेज में जाता हूँ क्योंकि मैं सज धज के जा सकता हूँ या जा सकती हूँ, और फिर उसके बाद पढ़ाई भी करता हूँ। तो पढ़ाई इज ये सब के साथ, सिर्फ पढ़ाई के लिए नहीं जाते हो कॉलेज। तो यदि मैंने आपको ये पूछा कि आप कॉलेज जाते हो, कपड़े नहीं पहनते हो ठीक से, तो आप बोलोगे नहीं सर कपड़े अच्छे पहन के जाता हूँ। मैं बोलूंगा बाइक में नहीं जाते हो, बोला नहीं सर बाइक धो के जाता हूँ ताकि 10 आदमी देखे। दोस्त यारी बनाने के लिए नहीं जाते हो क्या? नहीं सर दोस्त यारी बनाने के लिए आता हूँ। और पढ़ने के लिए भी जाते हो? हाँ सर पढ़ने के लिए भी, और पढ़ने के लिए भी जाता हूँ। अग्रीड और डिसअग्रीड?
Yes, sir.
सो मेरा पॉइंट ये है आपके साथ, तो कॉलेज कभी ऑनलाइन नहीं जा सकता है, कॉलेज और स्कूल दोनों ऑनलाइन नहीं जा सकता है, क्योंकि आपके जो बचपन के दिन है वो कब याद आएगा? जब आप वो दोस्त यारों से मिलते हो, वो पहला पहला गर्लफ्रेंड बनाते हो, पहला चाय पीते हो, पहला बर्थडे पार्टी करते हो। दीज आर ओकेजन्स माय गुड फ्रेंड्स। कॉलेज इज ऑल अबाउट एंड स्कूल इज ऑल अबाउट बॉन्डिंग। वो बॉन्डिंग का माहौल में पढ़ाई होता है, और वो माहौल कोई आपसे छीन नहीं सकेगा। तो पेंडेमिक खत्म होगा तो आपको आना ही है, आपको आना है, बिकॉज यू आर अ सोशल एनिमल, यू आर नॉट समबॉडी हु इज इन इंसुलर। आपको 4 दरवाजा में बंद करके रखूंगा, 1 साल के लिए रख सकता हूँ, उससे ज्यादा नहीं रख सकता हूँ। आप पागल हो जाओगे, पीपल विल स्टार्ट गेटिंग मेंटल इलनेसेस। So this is one space. This is one space that will never ever be online. There will have to be an learning module where you will be in your classroom, because that is the only module where you can study. At this point of time, obviously, college is closed. You can't do much. You can't express yourself. So you are online. But this will become offline at some point of time, and I'm sure we are all waiting for that. There is more. I've also seen that the IT services sector, which according to me is a sector that is going to boom. Somebody asked a question, my good friends, Q&A के लिए we will keep about 15 minutes. So, professors, please tell me what time am I to end the session, because मुझे Q&A के लिए time देना है students को. So please tell me what time would you like me to end the session and keep the window open for Q&A. Yes, if there is a professor in this.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I am here, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
When would you like me to end? तो वो हिसाब से मैं end करके Q&A के लिए window खोल दूंगा.
Okay. So no problem.
हाँ. So I believe that अभी 12 बजा है और 10 मिनट के बाद हम लोग Q&A के लिए विंडो खोल दें. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. No problem.
Students
we can
ask,
do.
Yes, so that students can ask questions. I think there are already questions coming up. So
Yes, sir. Definitely.
We need to keep about 15 minutes for them. So young people, 10 मिनट के बाद we will end the session. So I hope you are able to understand and are enjoying the session that I am telling you.
Yes, sir.
I hope आपको अंडरस्टैंडिंग आ रहा है, आपको इम्पैक्टफुल लग रहा है, बिकॉज दिस इज द रीजन व्हाई वी आर हियर, टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट द पेंडेमिक इज ब्रॉट आउट, नॉट टू मेक यू डिप्रेस्ड. ये डिप्रेशन के लिए, माहौल के लिए हम लोग नहीं कर रहे हैं क्लास. तो प्लीज, इफ यू डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड, यू हैव टू स्टॉप एंड टेल मी, सर प्लीज एक्सप्लेन द कॉन्सेप्ट. सो वी हैव सम फ्यू मिनट्स मोर. लेट मी स्टार्ट. Somebody said IT, etc. My point to that somebody is that the IT services sector is going to boom, and it will stay after pandemic, because you need software to run your computers. Aaj brands like Lenovo, brands like HP, brands which were seeing 1 and 2 computers being sold are seeing 500, 700, 900, 2000 computers being sold. कंप्यूटर का बूम है, और कंप्यूटर का बूम होने के साथ सॉफ्टवेयर का बूम है. द सॉफ्टवेयर IT peripheral sector is also booming today. Apps, you need apps to run your software. You need an app to log on to your session in Zoom. You need an app to share knowledge. Along with that, there is another sector that is gaining high momentum, and that is the gaming industry. In this lockdown,
Sir,
a
just a
lot of
second.
you,
Yes, sir.
in
Just
this
a second.
lockdown, a lot of
Sir.
you have, yes, sorry.
Hello, sir. Can you please tell me about ethical hacking?
Well, I will keep the window open for Q&A. Let me finish, sir. Give me about
Okay.
4 minutes. I will finish and then I will answer your questions. I may not be able to answer all your questions, but I will answer to the best of my knowledge. Let me just finish. I have another 5 minutes. Um, in my understanding, that technology is going to drive the future. The more you start relating to technology, the larger will be your understanding of that space. There is going to be a point, and that is coming very soon, where dependence on IT, dependence on tech, dependence on gadgets is going to be the future. आज ऐसे हो गया है कि आपसे यदि मैंने मोबाइल फोन छीन लिया तो शायद आप एक दिन भी टान नहीं सकोगे, आप कुछ घंटे भी टान नहीं सकोगे, बिकॉज ऑल योर इंफॉर्मेशन इज देयर. बट यू नो देर इज अनदर माइनस साइड टू दैट. आपको ये भी पता होगा that these mobiles can track you, and China
Yes.
is doing that. So by you buying a mobile phone, the service provider is knowing what you want to purchase, what you want to buy, what you are thinking about, who is your friends, and who are your WhatsApp contacts. Your bank details are also open to public. So this is the challenge that technology is facing today. The challenge of technology today is how do I keep data close to my chest? There are people who are hacking. There are people who are doing it ethically. Now, there is another case that has come to the US courts. Is ethical hacking legalized? A lot of you will say, yes, sir, it is. But the moment I hack, I bring in a system that supersedes your software, that cracks your software. And if I am able to crack your software, is that ethical? The answer is
No.
certainly not. Because today, if I move into a bank's software and if I'm able to provide information to somebody else without the bank knowing, which is your and my bank account, tomorrow, even if I use the term ethical, your bank account and my bank account is cracked. And if that happens, am I not vulnerable? So, in the environment of technology, when I talk about hacking today, there is nothing in the domain space of ethical hacking. It is just a terminology that we are using. At the end of the day, anybody who is hacking into anybody else's computer or cracking his software or cracking his email password is not doing it with the ethical perspective. There is an ulterior motive. Otherwise, why would you not do it through the right channel, and why would you go through the ethical channel or the hacking channel? So don't get me wrong when I say that is hacking ethical. Though everybody says yes, there is something called ethical hacking. The very fact that you are hacking into somebody else's program is that you are doing it without his knowledge. And the moment you do it without his knowledge, it certainly does not become ethical. So the same applies to morphing. The same applies to individuals who are cracking into other people's user and mail passwords and getting in. Certainly, that is not ethical, because if that happens, automatically a lot of other people get access to software and your data, which is possibly privy to your own. In fact, the world today is very worried because safeguarding and keeping data safe is the greatest problem and challenge that we are facing today. We are not able to safeguard information. And that is why organizations and companies are investing crores and crores of rupees trying to protect their data, because they don't know at what point of time that data is going to be cracked by somebody else. On this note, I would like to conclude my session. and keep the floor open for 10 minutes for Q&A. So if anybody has a question, please come online and ask me. I will be happy to answer. Acha, are you all writing down the questions? Oh, one minute, let me see. I've got a lot of questions come to me. Ha, Mr. Atharva, right? Atharva Kurkute.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. You have asked a question, which business should we start during or after this pandemic? Interesting. तो पहले मुझे ये बताओ अथर, what is your interest area? Then we can talk. What is the area of interest that you are in at this point of time? तो business तो बहुत है, आपको स्पेस एज का भी बिजनेस है, आपको नासा का भी बिजनेस है, बट आपका क्या इंटरेस्ट है ये बताओ, फिर उसके बाद हम लोग आगे ले सकते क्वेश्चन. Yes, tell me. What is the area of your interest? Then I can talk about what business you should start during or after the pandemic. बताइए sir. Mr. Athar, please tell me.
Sir, what you said, Atharva Shinde or Atharva any other?
I think Kurkute is the name. Am I right? You have asked this message. And there's
No,
another
sir.
gentleman. You have not asked?
No, no, no.
Okay. There is from Atharva to me. That's the message that's come. Anyway, whoever has asked, let me take this point forward. Which business should we start during or after the pandemic? There are three things. The first is the most impacted business is travel. And the business that is going to boom after the pandemic is also travel. So if you have set your mind and heart on starting anything on the world of travel, this may be not the right time, but you can start thinking about it because travel is going to boom. The second business that I see that is going to see huge traction is food. And food can be anything from roadside food to restaurant business. There is a point where people are going to get tired of eating from home cooked, ye wo. Post pandemic and during the pandemic, small food joints, 100 rupees, 50 rupees, 70 rupees, 200 rupees, 250 rupees a plate will do very well. There is a company that is called Wow Momo. It is also operating in my city, Pune. The ad in the paper says that for 50 rupees, we are giving you a plate of momos, and for 70 rupees, we are giving you 2 plates. You know, the system or the IT, the software has crashed because so many people after seeing that ad have started going on to Wow Momo's site to get momos for them. So food could be the second business that will certainly boom, but not home cooked food. It could be select food, it could be restaurant food, it could be 50, 80, 100 to 250 rupee bracket. If you are able to provide food in that, it's a major plus. The third business that I see booming is the pharmaceutical business. Pharmaceutical business would mean that businesses where you are going to see medicines, where you are going to see pharmacies opening up, where you would want to buy a thermometer, where you would want to buy a paracetamol, where you would want to buy a chawanprash. Pharmacy business is also going to boom. Another business that I see opportunities is local kirana shop. Dal, rice, vegetable is boom time. Next business is app. If you are able to be in the software business and make apps, provide apps that allow for gaming platforms, provide apps that allow for banking platforms, provide apps that allow for other digital platforms, you are going to see a big boom. Another sector that is going to boom is knowledge-based online platforms like Beju's, there are a lot of platforms today that are looking at uploading content. If you are able to provide software that helps upload content, you would be the winner in your game. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that there are some businesses that are going to bounce back. There are some businesses like single screen cinema halls that are not going to bounce back. So even if you want to start a cinema hall, I would say this is not the right space. Even if you want to start a business with Ola and Uber, I would say this is not the right time. If you want to start a taxi service, again, a taxi service where you are providing a price point that is competitive, you will do well. If you provide a taxi service just commuting from airport to hotel, you may not last. So you have to review your business model today. Your business model cannot be the same. Again, when you are talking about providing facilities, you also have to see that what am I going to provide? Maybe if I'm in the business, if I'm business of electric scooters, it's quite possible that my business will pick up because there is a lot of people who are looking at different technology, electric technology, because it is cheaper. Electric technology, because it is going to be ruling my life going forward. So these are the business areas that you could look at very closely. You could also look at being in the business of selling computers, selling mobile phones. This will also see you do.
Admit new student management. Yes, sir.
No,
Single student टाकायचं तुम्ही इथे टाकू शकता. Right, sir.
how much investment will be needed to start business related to apps?
ऍडमिशनचं लक्षात आलं सर? Yes, sir. हो सर, आलं लक्षात.
How much
आता हे फर्स्ट इयरचे मुलं पण प्रमोशन झाले ना,
will be
मग ब्रँच ट्रान्सफर आणि कॅन्सल ऍडमिशन मी सांगेन तुम्हाला.
My point is that, see,
ठीक आहे, आता तुम्ही काय करा,
one cannot
आता तुमच्यासोबत दोघं जण आहेत.
one cannot actually ask. One cannot actually ask how much money will be required for developing an app. The little I know about the world of apps, it takes between 5 to 7 lakhs to get an app in workable mode. To promote that app, it would require another 2 to 3 lakhs. So the minimum investment, if you want to develop and promote an app, in my understanding, would be between 5 and 7 lakhs. Under that, your app may not gain traction. And if you develop something lower than that, it may not give you the business model that you are looking for. This is my reading of the world of apps. Any other question that you have, friends, that you would like to ask me? Yes. Any other questions that you have for me in the space of entrepreneurship, in the space of understanding the dynamics of leadership, etc.? Yes, please.
Sir, how will be the software developing will be proceed?
Sorry. How will be?
Software developing, sir.
See, software is a good, development of software is good, my friend. But the question is that you have to develop a software that the market is keen on. And in order to develop a software, you have to tie up with a brand that is into this space. On your personal ability, if you develop a software, where are you going to market it? So if you are talking about software development, you have to tie up with a brand. The brand could be Huawei, the brand could be Apple, the brand could be Nokia, the brand could be gaming, the brand could be Nvidia, the brand could be anyone. So unless they are able to market your software, you may not gain traction. So developing it is a very small part of the world of software. Marketing it is a larger part. And it is only you can market it if you are associated with a brand that will take your software to the next level. And that will only come through big brands. And today, these are the brands that are looking for software for which you have to move into their space. An individual developing a software today is difficult to move into a market. But developing a software for an organization, for a brand, would be much, much easier and and it would be far easier to connect on that space. Okay, the next question that I have is, which
Sir,
business?
just a second.
Yes,
How
please.
is the era of software developing will be
No, it is
in
good, of
next
course.
few years,
It is
sir?
the future. It is the future.
Yeah,
Of course, it is the future. Software is the future and will be the future because everybody is in requirement. But marketing that software is the larger critical point. You get what I'm saying, young man?
yeah, sir.
That's what it is. So, which business will keep itself? 1 minute, please. Which business will keep itself going for the next 10 years? That is another question. See, there is no life cycle of 10 years in any business today. A business model has to be looked at evolving its space every 10 to 15 months. The moment you start a business, you also need to look at how that business is going to evolve. So you cannot say business is 10 years anymore. 1 minute, please. So you can't see the business for 10 years. The business cycle today is between 9 to 15 months. After that, you have to revisit your business. So don't look at any business that is going to run for 10 years. It does not happen. The world today is looking at a 3-year business, not a 5, 7, 10-year business model. So please don't look at any business model that is going to last for 10 years. It will not. You have to revisit your model every 1 year, every 9 months, every 15 months. That is my reading of business environment today. This is the new normal. Business environments don't last a lifetime. Any other questions? Any other questions? Yes, please. Yes, please. Anyone else has a question for me? Right. So I think, sir, I think we have given our inputs for the session. You are free to please drop me a question also on an email, and I would be happy to answer. If there is any question that you particularly want on email format, I could answer that also for you. But I think we have discussed what we had to in this session. Please tell me, was the session liked? Was it all right by you? Did you feel that you have garnered some input as students?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So I think that was the whole idea. The learning curve is more important. The whole concept of this is also we need to clear the air that there are some sectors that are going to boom and there are some sectors that are not going to see traction. I think that if we are able to kind of assess that and get a feel of that, I think we have been successful. And don't worry, the pandemic is going to go away. For all of those who feel that it is here to stay, my answer is no, it is not here to stay. The vaccine is already out. It will be in the next 2 to 3 months. By Feb, things will bounce back. Markets will come back to normal. There will be enough traction for you and me to gain momentum. So I believe that by Feb, things should be back to normal. And we should be able to come back to our usual normal course of life. Of course, with some social distancing and other things that will be part of our life for the next few months. Maybe by the middle of 2021, even masks and all should slowly go out of the system. As and when the pandemic moves out, even these things will move out. So don't worry. It's not a new normal that is going to stay for all your life. There is going to be a point when the new normal will also ease out. On that note, I'd like to say thank you. And I'd like to also say that it was a very wonderful opportunity to interact and speak to all you students. And I hope there was a learning outcome from my session. Thank you so much once again for being with me. God bless and all the very best for the new year. May 2021 bring with it more vibrancy and better times. God bless. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Pleasure. Pleasure. We can log out now.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Now, I think all students, all participants, you got the answers. If anyone having the doubts, you can mail
Mail
to the
me.
sir. Otherwise, we will take it now. Participants, if any questions, okay. A big thank you, Patel sir,
Pleasure.
for
Pleasure.
your valuable guidance like entrepreneurship and leadership. So Facebook, you have already given to the knowledge regarding Facebook strategy, television strategy, automobile market growing, all about the information regarding the today's entrepreneurship and leadership. So we are also very grateful to Pooja Madam from PIBM for arranging and helping us for the arranging this webinar. I also extend my thanks to our management, our secretary Vivek sir, executive director respected Vallabh sir, as well as our principal Dr. Patil sir, administrative officer Gadekar sir, and our technical team. Last but not least, our participants, thank you all of you. In chat box, we already posted the certificate link like feedback link. So everyone fill that feedback link. You will get the certificate by the mail. Okay. So thank you once again, all of you. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure.